Happy New Year, guys. 2020, brand new year, brand new episode. Another one, though, for the One Micronesia podcast. It's last year's own. It was awesome, but this year, we're going to get a lot of good people on here. And, of course, let's start this year off on a right note. And here we have with us from the PHRS facilitator, Shannon Siguenza. Thank you so much. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
So Shannon, we're here because you guys are teaming up with the FSM Consulate Office to do big things in 2020.
Yes.
It's huge. I love what you guys are doing. So tell us more about this program.
Okay, so I'll give some context on the program if that's okay.
Background too.
Yeah. So Stephen Covey wrote this amazing book that's really that's prevalent in the business world. Okay. It's one of those must reads. In business admin. And so what ended up happening with the book is because it was so successful, workshops developed from the book. And from those workshops, people were like, well, can you do one for families? Can you do one for little kids? Can you do one for teachers? Can you do one for managers? And eventually that grew to kids, teens. And so that's what we're doing. We're doing a series of workshops partnering with the FSM Consulate targeted towards teens.
Nice.
So we're going to have 6 consecutive Saturdays in February and the first week of March that goes through all of the 7 habits with kids. Now, I like to talk about how the 7 habits was transformational for me, and I'm not doing this in like a Hallmark way. Mm-hmm. Like, I was a teacher for a long time. I was a teacher for 10 years. And in my last year of teaching, I attended this. My admin sent me, and I was like, "Oh, I have to go to this workshop." I was like, you know what? I get free food. I'll go.
Ooh, yeah.
Right? I was like, 3 days of free food. I'm about it. But in the first hour of this workshop, like I was like, oh my god.
Got to you. It's like this. I know.
I was like, oh my god, this is me. Like this is you talking to me. So I ended up going up to the facilitator and I said, hey, how do I do what you're doing? Because I feel like this fulfills my mission as a teacher. Mm-hmm. And so this is the stuff that I really like about my job, is that I'm going to be working with youth. I'm going to be working with the people that affect the youth. Mm-hmm. And so teaching the 7 habits to the kids. And that's what we're going to be doing. It's going to be an 8-hour workshop. And we're going to be doing them by district. We're going to be doing a couple in the north, a couple in central, and then one in the south.
Okay.
And just based on population needs and stuff like that, and that's the gist of it in terms of what's happening scheduling wise.
I think the target itself is huge because you guys, we've talked about the different issues that the FAS community here in Guam face, and I think, and we've tried so many ways to fix these problems because we're on the news and everything says another mm-hmm. thing. So but where you guys are headed to, I've done this is probably the 5th. The couple podcasts I've been talking to climate change activists from the FSM, sports. I did talk to Action, talk about what he's doing in the sports section. But then I love this because we take it back, and this is I've always talked about this with with the people is we always got to bring it back to the youth because that's where it's at. Yeah. The teens is where it's at because if we teach them to do the right thing and how to do it, and shape their lives, and then that way they can go on and live their lives in a good way and at the same time teach the other generation which is upcoming. So let's talk about the 7 habits.
So one thing I really like about this, so 7 habits, I'll do I'll go down the 7, right? Okay. So the first one's being proactive. It's just making a choice. Like this, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a choice. I'm going to do this. I'm going to decide who I am, what I stand for. I'm going to decide how I feel, right? You realize you make decisions and you're in charge. Okay. The second one is begin with the end in mind. So this idea that how many of us wake up and think about the map of our day? How many do that? How do you wake up, or do you just wake up and you're like, oh my god, I have 10 minutes to get ready, I have to think, right? And so beginning
raising your hands because I'm like, yeah, here.
That was the life that that's how I kind of functioned mm-hmm. before. But the beginning with the end in mind is not just mapping your day, mapping your week, mapping your month, mm-hmm. but actually one of the things that the kids will go through is going, what do I want my life to look like at my last birthday party? Who do I want there? What do I want the people attending to say about me, right? And so they start there. with that question, who do I want to be when I'm old, and what kind of like effect do I want to have on people? And so the kids will walk through this like idea of where they want to end up when they're old, but also we bring it down to talk about where they want to. I couldn't help it. Sorry.
OJ.
Waved at someone off camera, but we they begin with the end in mind, and they define not just their days, their weeks, their months, their years, but also who they want to be as people. And so that kind of helps define them, and that becomes the grounding place for making decisions, which goes into habit 3, which is actually acting out this blueprint, this idea of who I want to be. So if I'm going to say I want to be a teacher when I'm 20, what does that mean? So when I'm standing there and I have a decision to skip class or go to class, if I really want to be a teacher when I'm 20, am I going to skip class or am I going to go to class? Right? If I really want to be a police officer by the time I'm 30, am I going to do this thing or am I going to do something else, you know? And so it becomes a grounding place for decision making. And then habit 3 is put first things first. So it's getting all of your priorities in check. The kids will go through all these motions of actually listing down what their priorities are. And in the 7 habits, they're called big rocks, right? So they actually talk about what are their big rocks. Like, what is it? Your family. Some people, it's their family first. Some people, it's their careers. Some people, it's their it's the connections that they have with other people, the community service that they do, things they do for their spirit, their body, their mind, all of that. That will get organized, and the kids will do activities that make them go, wow, I don't actually put the things that are most important to me. Kids will always say, I was a teacher for 10 years in the high schools. Kids will always say that their families are first. When you ask them what they did this weekend, oh, I hung out with my friends. Right? Or all of their journals will talk about, oh, my mom did this, my dad did this, my blah, 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 right? And that moves into habit 4, which talks about thinking win-win, right? Recognizing that everybody's different. Everybody sees their wins as different things. What could be a win for you is a total loss for me. Like, I have a friend I like to talk about. One of my friends is like a plant-based diet kind of person. And I am not a plant-based diet. I mean, I like plants, don't get me wrong. Like, I'll eat a lettuce leaf. But she's like, oh my God, let's go. I'm going to take you to this raw vegan restaurant. And I'm like, yay, right? And so the kids will talk about this. The kids will learn about this. Like, what are your parents' wins? What are your, and it creates a sense of empathy, right? So they're going to learn a little bit about stepping back and going, wait, like, my wins are not the same wins as my teachers. My wins are not the same wins as my parents, as my siblings. And then in habit 5, they'll talk about understanding those differences, like understanding the wins, the diversity, understanding the different people around them, and then learning how to communicate a request to be understood. So habit 5 is seek first to understand, then be understood. So it's to just go, I recognize it in this conflict. I don't understand what's going on. So let me take a moment to understand you, and then I'm going to wait. And when you feel fully understood, I'm going to ask if you'll take time to understand me now. And then they learn these like different degrees of respect because they're now empathizing, because they're now taking time to listen. They're taking time to think and reflect, right? They go back to being proactive and going, no, I have a choice, and I'm choosing to put my family first. I'm choosing to live a happy life at home, right? And then that moves into habit 6, which is called synergize. So it's this idea of creative collaboration, right? How often have you sat in a group project and been like, no, I want the title to be blue, and everyone else is like, no, the title should be green or yellow, or but synergizing would go, okay, maybe we can just do a floral design and we'll have green, blue, red, and yellow, right? It's taking your strengths and my strengths and everybody else's strengths and then maximizing them to the full potential. Instead of fighting over things that don't matter, right? It goes back to your big rocks, right? Like, I want to be successful in school, and fighting with all my classmates is not going to do that. I want to be happy in my heart and my soul, and causing conflict or being part of conflict at home is not going to help that, right? So the kids will learn all of those different levels. And then the last one, which is my favorite, is synergize. It's this idea of always coming back to take care of yourself. to take care of your body, your heart, your spirit. It reminds them that you have to work out. It doesn't matter how many abs you were born with, because let's be real, how are all of these boys born with abs already? Like, you didn't even do a push-up yet, and you haven't
like
even
6
done
abs
it,
already.
right? Like, or like some of these girls, like these teen girls that never do anything.
Girl, you're my spirit animal.
Right? Like, they never do anything, and for some reason I'm like, this chick's running super fast. And so the last one, synergize, is this reminder that you have to renew yourself spiritually, emotionally. You have to take care of your body. You have to feed yourself well. You have to make sure that that all of the other things in your life are in line, so that you can return to taking care of yourself and nourishing the things that you love about yourself and the people around you. And so that's the 7 habits, like, in a nutshell.
Yeah,
if the adults,
you like smash it.
I know I have to like squish it in a little like 10-minute facilitating. So it's actually a 3-day workshop, but facilitating the 8-hour workshop is already like so small. So doing it in 10 minutes, like giving an overview in not even 10 minutes, like maybe 5 minutes. I don't know how long you talk, but it's a little difficult. But it's a rich curriculum.
So, how did this collaboration come about with your office and the FSM?
So one of our contacts, who is familiar with the 7 habits and does work with our office, he also works with the FSM Consulate. And so I guess at a certain point, the FSM Consulate was looking towards, I guess, being proactive. So they made some moves, like, we want to connect more with the youth in the community. And we want to kind of give them these tools. What I like about the 7 habits is it's a toolbox. And in the workshop, we share this toolbox. And it's up to you what you're going to do with this toolbox, what you're going to do with all these things. And I think the FSM Consulate, I think the Consulate General just saw it as a valuable toolbox and wanted that to be something shared with the youth.
Wow. And all the 7 steps you smashed into like a good 1 minute, 2 minute, summary. It sounds so cool, but there's gonna be some challenges.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's talk about that.
Always
because
challenges.
some people are gonna be lost somewhere in the process.
Yeah.
What do you see when you guys start this? What are some of the challenges?
Challenges, like, as a facilitator? Yeah. A lot of the times people go in with the same attitude that I started with. I don't want to be here.
Right.
Someone forced me. Oh, I'm just here for the free lunch.
Right.
But as a facilitator, I go in. Every facilitator is different, right? Some people will approach it by this whole idea that the word is the word. Come and hear it, and what you'll do with it is what you'll do with it. For me as a facilitator, I approach it the same exact way as I approach teaching. I'm honest about it.
Okay.
I come in, I talk about what my struggles were, what my resistance was, what I still struggle with. I share how it helped me. I share how it changed my relationships. I laugh with the participants. I cry with the participants. Every single workshop, I'll still cry at some of the movies. Every single workshop, I'll still cry with someone who'll share something about their mom or their dad or their spouse or their sibling, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, or whatever the case may be. It's just about being genuine. I changed careers because I believe in the impact this has on our community. This could have on our community. I truly believe. So I became a teacher because I wanted to change our island, and I wanted to do it from the roots up. That's how you do it in education. And when I saw this as a powerful tool to supplement the system, to add to it, to give a richer, I guess, some like richer additives, I made this really difficult decision to work primarily with adults, but with the end goal to reach kids. And that's where we're at now.
So this is an awesome program. Like you said, it's going to kick off. When is it? When are we guys looking to start this?
So the very first one is going to be the first week of February. It's
Okay.
going to be Saturday. We're going to be doing outreach through the consulate, and the amazing volunteers that work through the consulate. So people like Action. I know that Sylvia Elias also is working with the consulate, and she does outreach with them. And
a lot of good folks down there.
yeah, lots of good people. And so we're gonna have those be working through those outlets for outreach to get kids from the community to attend it. So they're gonna be teens. 14 to 18. I think we'll make some adjustments for like 13-year-olds.
Okay.
It's a little difficult when you get the middle schoolers kind of mixed in with an older demographic, but we're going to be working with that teens group. And then we're going to do it by district. So the first one we're doing in Dedido.
Nice.
On the first week of February, and then they'll just be consecutive Saturdays after that. Every Saturday afterwards, we'll be in another village doing different sets of outreach for each one.
Wow. So, like I said, such an awesome program. What a way to kick off 2020. We're on, like I said, we're on the right, the right way. We're heading towards the goal, and the goal is to make things better, and that's what we want. Before we close out, anything you want to throw out in regards to the program?
If there's any, so I would like to share that if there are any individuals who are interested in attending, like kids that are interested in attending, parents that want their kids to attend, or even community programs that want to get involved or be part of it, volunteer, things like that, you can reach out to the FSM Consulate and just voice your interest, and then from there we'll work out all the logistics after, but that's pretty much it. That's all.
All right, guys, it's the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens.
Yes.
It's going to kick off, I said, first week of February, you said?
Yes.
So get signed up. It's going to be fun. And like I said, it's like you said, it's a tool that it's really going to go to use if you guys, come through and check it out. So thank you so much, Shannon, for stopping by.
Thank you so much.
All right, that pretty much wraps up another episode of the One Micronesia podcast with myself, Victorious. We'll see you at the next one. Bye. Later.